to do a testimonial first. So this is going to be your fifth or sixth? Fifth class.
Yeah.
And how has it been for you?
From the beginning, it's like night and day. When I started, before starting training, I couldn't go on a walk without her pulling me everywhere we went, wanting to chase after everything and jumping on people and just not listening.
Right.
To this point, up to this point now, where we're at, she sits. There's a lot of distractions here. She doesn't go anywhere. She listens to all the commands I give her. She's doing great with training, and even off training, she's really great.
Yeah.
No longer jumping on top of people. Doesn't pull anymore. Even when I put her on break, when we're not on commands,
Sure.
she's still great. Doesn't go after anything anymore. She doesn't pull on anything. She's doing 100 times better than I thought she would.
Yeah. So coming into this, because the whole virus thing, right?
Yeah.
That not been able to actually work with her. It's
Yeah.
just been verbal instruction in you, right?
Right.
How has your experience been with that? Like,
To be honest with you, I didn't know how it was going to work without during this whole situation that we're going through right
Yeah.
now. But I don't know how it could have been any better. We've done all the commands that you've given us. There's really been no need to take control of her
Right.
by you. Everything that I like that I've been the one to control everything.
sure.
And honestly, I don't know how much more it could have been different,
Yeah.
or how much better she could have been, because, like I said, everything's been so great.
What's funny is that we have about 6 to 8 clients right now that are doing just verbal coaching,
Yeah,
and I feel like they're doing better than if I did it myself.
yeah,
Because one, since in the beginning I do the hard part, the very first class, remember, it was like just back and forth.
Yeah.
And I think you mentioned during one session that the hour after the lesson you continue the
right,
training, right?
yeah,
Is because I do a big chunk of the training, it's really related to me, but it just transfers to the owner very easily. Like, I remember when your wife took the leash, it was very simple, right?
Yeah.
And then your son.
right,
But really, it's being tied to you
yeah,
because you're doing everything from ground zero,
Yeah.
right? So the respect factor between Callie and you is far greater because of
yeah.
that. I'm completely out of the picture. She doesn't know I'm giving you instructions. She doesn't know the words coming out of my mouth.
Right, exactly.
You
Yeah.
know? And this is why I stress so much about e-collar and why I love it so much is because when I was thinking about like how am I going to get the business back on its feet, I was like, well, I really don't need for like stuff like this. Like there's certain things that yes, I have to do like aggression,
Right.
but for the most part, this stuff I don't need to even touch the dog. As
Yeah.
long as the owner is patient and can take verbal instruction and willing to do the work,
Right.
they're going to get there. And I feel they're learning more because they're working through the nuances themselves, as opposed to me fixing the little nuances and
Right.
then saying, here you go.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. And then like when you came into this, because I think we spoke one time about like off leash, like you would love to have off leash,
Right.
but you weren't sure if it was even possible, right?
Yeah.
So coming into like, what did you think like that you were going to be able to achieve?
Basically, what I thought I was going to be able to achieve is just being able to walk with her down the street,
Sure.
and to have her stop jumping on every single person that she sees. That's what I was thinking that we were going to be able to do.
Yeah.
Where we've gone beyond that is unbelievable.
Yeah.
To the point where I'm very confident that she's going to do great with off-leash training.
Yeah.
Which I would have liked to have happened, but I didn't think was a possibility with how she used to go after everything.
Sure.
And how when she was loose and free off the leash, she didn't listen.
Sure.
Now in the house, in our backyard, if I tell her to come, if I tell her to sit, if I tell her to even on a heel in our house, in our backyard, because I practice that with her in a safe environment. She follows me, and off the loop. She has nothing on her, not even the remote, and she'll still go with me. Not as powerful as it is, if one of the kids come and start playing with her, she's gonna go away.
Sure.
She's gonna lose attention.
Sure.
Because I don't have this to bring her attention back. But leaps and bounds, like I said, different than what I thought it was
Yeah.
going to be.
So, and this is most people when they come in the picture, is they have very minimal expectations.
Yeah.
Because that's what most trainers are capable of, right? And yes, it's a realistic expectation if you work with one of those trainers, because not everybody that uses e-collar does it the way that I do it.
Right.
Okay, I spent and invested a lot of money to go to Miami to study with Richard Hines. This is his method. So unless you learned and studied with him or one of his clients, you're not getting this style of training, right? And that's what differentiates me from everybody else. And I watched a lot of YouTube trainers, and I spent, I think it was a year maybe, it was a year saving money, working really hard. So I could go to Miami, so I'm like, I'm going to study with this guy, right? And that's why we're able to do this.
Yeah.
So not everybody uses the tool the same, which is a common conception, like, oh, e-collar should be really good. Nope, it doesn't always work that way.
Right.
And the other thing is you're doing a lot of work. You've implemented the homework that you've practiced. It's not just, hey, here's the answers. Like, you have to apply it.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And going to when you said, if I don't have the collar in the home, like, it's not 100%, right?
It's not.
But the context, right?
Yeah.
So like my guys, if I took them out without the collars, they're about 80% because the reinforcer isn't there.
Right.
It's not about skill. It's about this is a living, breathing creature that can make her own decisions. And if she's like, hey, dad doesn't have the means to control me, I'm going to be a brat. I'm going to do my own thing.
Right.
Humans are the same way.
Yeah.
Technically, it's kind of going on now with the absence of law, protesting, rioting, looting. Lots of laws are being broken, but nobody's going to reinforce it because there's not enough people. Right? It's the same kind of concept. Anything else, or anything that you would want to mention for anyone going into the training, like with the verbal coaching, like any concerns, or do you feel like it's good?
I think the verbal coaching is great. I'm kind of biased because that's what I learned on is verbal coaching with you.
Sure.
But I think it's actually better having the verbal coaching. You just giving the instructions to the trainer, the owner, and having them do it with the dog. That way they can work through, like you said, the little issues that they might have. Whereas you fix all the issues yourself and then give it to her, hand them over. I actually prefer this method. I'm a very hands-on person, so
Sure.
I actually prefer this method where it's just you giving me the instructions on what to do and me doing it.
Yeah. And I'm the same way. I think most people are pretty much do-it-themselves learners.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, you're learning skills here that, because the training is a blink of an eye, right? It's an hour once a week.
Yeah.
And in the scope of life, that's not much. That you're not going to come across everything that life will throw at you in a training session.
Right.
Off-leash dogs, what happens if Callie gets spooked, right?
Right.
That when you work with these nuances, should life happen, and there's no leash and it's just you, Callie, and the remote, you've got enough groundwork and hands-on experience of working through problems that you're going to be more confident working through that issue.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's the one thing that people don't think about. People approach their dogs as if nothing could ever go wrong in life, and I see it all the time.
Yeah.
So I guess biased in that sense, right? When I have my approaches, everybody Jesse, why would you do that? I'm like, because I'm prepping you for life. When I've had people I think I told you 3 dogs I've seen run off leash into the streets here because nobody had recall. They couldn't control their dog.
Yeah.
I was at a park with a client and someone set up a firework randomly. It wasn't even 4th of July. It was like August, October. And I looked and I remember seeing all the dogs. I was like, somebody's going to run away because dogs are afraid of fireworks for the most part. Thankfully, nobody ran away, and my client's dog got spooked, tried to, but he tapped the collar, dog came right back.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm glad to hear you're having a really good experience.
Yeah.
And then, Callie's a great dog, and you're just making her even better. But honestly, kudos to you because you put in a lot of work.
Thanks.
Okay? We appreciate your time. Thank you.
It's everything that I've learned from coming to these lessons. So, it's just like you said, reinforcing it when you're not it, because it's a 1 hour lesson, but you got to keep at it.
Correct.
During the week. It's not just that 1 hour and then you let them do whatever they want for the rest of the week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which is a very common kind of perception. When I break the reality to people,
right?
I'm like, she's not a human, and humans go through years of education before we're off on our own.
Right.
And then still life is even more burden.
It's like you said, it's like having a toddler that's never going to grow up.
Yeah, exactly. She's permanently 3 to 4 years old.
Yeah.
So, but this just makes life a lot easier.
Yeah.
The more you use it, the less you're actually using it, because she's opting for certain things because she knows there's going to be consequences.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Okay, we're going to cut it there, and we will start.